direction, but our baseline numbers are still far too high.
Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards says we still have about 4 times as many Louisianans in the hospital as we did before the Delta surge began in early July. We've also just been hit with a major hurricane.
And that caused some disruptions with people moving about, with a lot of people coming in from out of state, people moving in with one another.
Matt Doyle, WWL First News.
The city of New Orleans sticking with its mask mandate. WWL's Dave Cohen tells us you shouldn't look for the vaccine rules to change soon either.
The guidelines the mayor has put in place are working.
Mayoral spokesman Bo Tidwell says since the mayor required people to have vaccinations or negative tests to get into restaurants, gyms, and venues, they have seen steady progress in reducing COVID in the community.
Average daily cases have decreased by 76%.
He credits the vaccine and mask mandates for saving lives and says while they're not ready to lift any of those rules right now, they may be able to in the next few weeks.
The Louisiana Department of Health says it is alarmed at an increase in pregnant women developing serious COVID-19 symptoms. WWL TV's Jade Cunningham reports.
Just since mid-July, 14 pregnant women in Louisiana have gotten seriously sick or died of COVID-19. All 14 were not vaccinated. 6 of the women and their unborn babies died, and the 4 remaining women lost their pregnancies. The LDH says pregnant women are especially vulnerable to COVID-19 and are at a heightened risk of miscarrying if they get the virus. None of the vaccines have been linked to pregnancy complications. You can get it at any stage of pregnancy.
After a long streak of daily declines, the number of hospitalized COVID-19 patients increased slightly in today's report from the Louisiana Department of Health. There are 989 people in the hospital for the disease, up 5 from yesterday's report. LDH reports 1,031 new cases today and 54 new COVID deaths.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
For this evening, we'll eventually be dropping from the 80s into the 70s, and we will be looking for a dwindling rain chance as well. Although, of course, through the afternoon, we've had some scattered showers and a couple of downpours as well. Overnight, we drop the rain chance to maybe about 20 to 30% for a few showers and mostly cloudy skies with lows in the lower 70s. Wednesday, we'll look for mostly cloudy skies again. Our rain chance about 70%, so another day to just kind of be aware. We'll have some rain out there, showers and a few thunderstorms too. Highs only about 83. Thursday, we'll start the day in the lower 70s. We'll look for mostly cloudy skies again with a 60% chance for rain and highs about 85. And then by Friday, we'll turn partly cloudy, only a 20% chance for an isolated shower Friday with highs about 87. From your local weather expert forecast center, I'm WWL TV meteorologist Alexandra Cranford.
I'm Chris Miller, WWL First News.
From the station you turn to when it counts, WWL-AMFM.com and the Odyssey app, Louisiana's official emergency management station. This is Ida Recovery Connection with attorney Doug Sunseri. Connect now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870. Now, beaming back to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studio, here's Doug.
Hey, good evening. Doug Sunseri, beaming back from suburban Mandeville to the Jefferson Federal Credit studio. The Ida Connection will be on tomorrow night from 8 to 10 o'clock to answer your Hurricane Ida insurance questions. We're about 1 month past Hurricane Ida, and there's a lot more questions and answers when it comes to the insurance claim. So you could call us at the talk and text line at 260-1870, or you could text us at 260-1870, and we'll answer your Hurricane Ida insurance claims. We're normally we've been Albert, my law partner, and I have been having a show on WWL on Sunday mornings for the last 13 years. On Sunday mornings from 8 to 10, we're being preempted by the Saints games playing at 12. But I'll be going through, I think, mid-October on Tuesday and Wednesday from 8 to 10. And we're pretty much just focusing on Hurricane Ida issues, insurance claims, also contractors, because we're starting to get to the point where repairs are starting and people are hiring contractors, want to make sure they're licensed in the state of Louisiana. They're insured. Make sure that you have a certificate of insurance. If you get a certificate of insurance, I'd call the insurance company to make sure that the insurance is still in effect, and you do a written contract, define the scope of your work that's to be done. And, so we're into that phase. So if you have any questions regarding contractors, we'll be glad to answer that. We're going to have guests. The first hour, we're going to have Anita Zimmer. She is a CPA from Wegman Dawsat. They have an office on the North Shore, also in Metairie. And she's going to talk about business interruption claims. There's a lot of businesses, small businesses that have business interruption insurance, and there's two ways that it can be activated. One is if you have physical damage to your business and you're unable to operate during the hurricane, it would activate your business interruption insurance. There's another more controversial method of activating coverage is through civil authority, and it's our position that civil authority applies, meaning that the government, through decree, has somehow denied access to your business, therefore you wasn't able to operate. Basically, the government officials had said that if it's too late to call a mandatory evacuation because I think the storm caught government officials by surprise, but they said leave if you can. And for the people who left, the storm came, said, please don't come back. We don't have power. We don't have utilities. And then they also implemented curfews, which denied access to your business, especially the curfews after 8 o'clock, where for restaurants and bars where you make 90% of your revenue after 8 o'clock. So there's been controversy there. The Commissioner of Insurance, Jim O'Donnell, has agreed that civil authority should apply. He issued a directive. The question is whether the directive is legally binding or not. That's going to be subject to litigation. But a couple of insurance companies said, yes, we will pay, honor policies that have civil authority, which would be your business policy, and also homeowners policies for your additional living expenses. Some aren't, or some are taking it by case basis. So we just submitted our two first business interruption claims against two insurance companies. And we'll see what position they're going to take. Both the businesses had physical damage, so they should honor it. Then also, we I think after the next break, we're going to have Anita come on, and she's going to tell us, what are some of how do you prepare a business interruption claim? What are some of the items that where do you look for it in your tax return? What's the formula for doing that? And again, we'd submitted a couple of business interruption claims today, and the companies had revenues around $2 million from 15, 20 employees. And, it was significant money. It was anywhere from $30,000 to $90,000 in business interruption just for being out those 10 or 11 days. So it could be significant money flowing in to help the business get back on its feet. Also, again, the civil authority is also important when it comes to if you didn't have enough damage to make your house inhabitable, but you evacuated with the application of the civil authority provision, you should be able to get your additional living expenses, the expenses you incurred in connection with your evacuation, hotel, gas, mileage, food, anything else, any money extra that you spent in order to evacuate in a jurisdiction where, or a situation where civil authority could apply, you should be able to collect on that. Now, a couple of things too, which I keep saying. I watched my friend Joe Respondi this morning. He's an attorney who is on Channel 8, and he does a wonderful job. He's been on Channel 8 forever as the legal analysis. And Joe he was very, very thoughtful this morning. He said in these words, the insurance company is not your friend. And I think he was trying to make the point that this process, if you hadn't found out later, is an adversarial. You have to advocate for yourself. I'm not going to say it's adversarial in the sense of person to person. It's adversarial. But against the insurance company, you have to prove your damages. And what the insurance companies are doing right now for most homeowners is they're doing some initial inspections, and they're doing a, base inspection to determine the amount of damages. And they tender based on their initial base inspection for damages. And then it's up to the homeowners to say, okay, if the damages are more than that for your structure or your other structures or contents or what have you, you're going to have to prove it. So ultimately, as the insured, the policyholder, it is up to you to prove your damages. The insurance company is probably going to start you out in giving you initial payment, which is 98% of the time is going to be deficient. And it's up to the insurance company, it's up to the policyholder to say, no, that's not enough money, and this is why. Another subject of controversy that we've been experiencing is basically the issue regarding roofs. And we're going to have Kevin Manali, who's our building consultant, claims estimator, come on at 9 o'clock hour to talk about some of the issues that are homeowners experiencing against insurance companies as far as roofs and those type of issues. So we'll have Kevin on for the 9 o'clock hour. I think Kevin was on last week with Tommy Turner. So he's on there for a good 40 minutes with him, and he'll answer a question. So you can give us a call at 260-1870, or you could text us at the Oakland Heart Talk and Text line at 260-170, and we'll respond to your text. But we're gonna we have Anita. We're gonna go to a break, and we're gonna bring on Anita Zimmer, who is a CPA from Wegman Dawes-Act, and she's going to tell us how to file a business interruption claim. It's not terribly complicated. She'll give us the formula, what documents you need, what financials you need, and if you have any questions for her, you can call in. You got a lawyer and you got a CPA, and you can call in and ask whatever question you want. You won't get a bill. That doesn't happen very often. So we'll be right back after this brief timeout on the IDA Recovery Connection. It's Doug Sunseri. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
Launches one down the field, waiting for it. Palmer has it at the 11. Wide.
Doug, I got a call from Jay Weiss from
the football
from Second Harvest.
Second Harvest.
Intercepted by
if you don't mind, could you give him a couple of minutes at 8:50?
It catches main.
Okay, good. I told him to call back then.
Battles Auburn, Saturday, 8 p.m. on WWL.
Oh, and we got Anita. She's ready to go.
I'm in a hot new trend.
Especially in New Orleans.
And now the trend is twice as big, twice as hot.
Tell them, Lori, tell them.
Women are now buying big anniversary diamonds for their men.
As big as the one he bought her?
As big as the one that he bought her.
It got started when men started giving women diamonds at least twice as big as the one in their engagement ring.
And then the lady said, two can play that game.
I like games that two can play.
Everyone likes games that two can play.
A big anniversary diamond says, I love you twice as much today as the day I married you.
It's time for a 2-carat diamond.
Or 3 carats.
Everywhere you go, people are going to ask you about your diamond.
What you tell them is up to you.
You found a partner to share your life with.
And now it's time to celebrate.
2 big diamonds are just the beginning.
Ramsey's Diamond Jewelers, the largest diamond store in Louisiana, on Veterans between Honorable and West End in Metairie.
It's been a great start to the NFL season, and it's only getting better at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. DraftKings is putting new customers in the center of the action with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Get in on the action now. It's simple. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition. Feel the NFL action like never before with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable.
Okay, we're going to go live after Big Lou and his second wife.
Your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings app now and use code LA Sports. This week, new customers can get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes.
Feels like you should have a third.
To get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with your first deposit. That's code LA Sports. Only at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Minimum
$5. He could have 3 at the same time. Come on, he's got that much money.
Since 1935, the All-State Sugar Bowl has been a proud New Orleans New Year's Day tradition. Through its annual support of with college football and amateur sports, the Sugar Bowl attracts hundreds of thousands of visitors to the state, providing countless opportunities for young people. Resources from these events enable the Sugar Bowl to support education and community programs, impacting thousands of New Orleans area teachers and citizens. The All-State Sugar Bowl, proud to host the best of the Big 12 and the SEC in the Superdome on New Year's Day 2022.
As life gets back to normal here, Diamonds Direct is doing our part with a special offer that's guaranteed to make celebrating those important moments easier and more affordable than ever. You can make any purchase at Diamonds Direct now and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. And everything's included: rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands. Plus, every sale at Diamonds Direct will benefit Cajun Navy Ground Force and Second Harvest. Buy now, spread your payments over 5 years, and give back at Diamonds Direct on Severn Avenue across from Lakeside Mall.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-568-2790. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your
the next
problems.
break will
If you're
take
50 or
place at
60 years
35.
old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-568-2790. That's 800-568-2790 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-568-2790.
Back to Ida Recovery Connection on WWL, AMFM.com, and the Odyssey app. You can get expert advice now from attorney Doug Sunseri on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
All right, we're back. Doug Sunseri on Ida Recovery Connection. We're already getting texts. It says, Doug, I love your show. Thanks for helping us out, but where is the boss lady? Which is my wife. I'm going to talk her into sitting in tomorrow. So she's in the other room. She doesn't know this, but she's going to be the guest tomorrow. So she's just going to have to, because I'm the boss of that decision. So she'll do that. We have on the line Miss Anita Zimmer, who's a CPA with Wegman and Dawsat. And I was reading all of Anita's initials behind her name. You got a bunch of those, Anita. Well, thank you for joining us. Your CPA, ABV, CFF. How'd you earn all those initials there, Anita?
A lot of hard work and studying.
A lot. It is. That's hard. You know, our youngest is studying to be a CPA. Well, she's an accounting student. She's in the 3rd year, and she had like a momentary lapse of judgment and said she wanted to go into a humanity at college, and we said no. And so she said, no, I'll go back to accounting. I said, you like to make money, so you better go back to CPA. The humanities not gonna help you with that. So there she is. And you got a lot of experience in business valuations, litigation support, forensic accounting, financial fraud investigations, ELDA financial abuse, which you can do 2 hours on just for that, and accounting and audit services. But you also specialize in business interruption in times of losses for businesses. Isn't that correct?
That's right. And I actually, kind of cut my teeth on this after Katrina. And, we all got kind of dumped into it, and just like we are again here. But I've been doing them for 16 years since then. And, we not only do it when there's a hurricane, but, when a business has a loss for any other event. We've seen it for a variety of things, such as a fire. We had an apartment building where they had a pipe burst and damaged a lot of units. Those residents had to move out. They had loss of rent income. So, we've been doing it for a long time, and like helping people to, get their insurance claim and get what's due to them. We pay premiums for it, and we want to certainly get what's owed back to us and help our clients do that.
We got to get the money in this city, because I'm sort of critical of the leadership, but it seems like in New Orleans, if you go to Houston and you go to Dallas, you see cranes in the air. The only time we renew our infrastructure is when we have a hurricane. We need to change that. But we need to get the money in any way we can. Now, Anita, as far when we had Katrina, we had business interruption claims, which might have extended 3, 4, or 5 months because of the extent of damages. But for a lot of the business interruption claims here, maybe for 10 days, 15 days, or 20 days. But even though it's only 10, 15, 20 days, it's still a very significant amount of money for most businesses.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is a lot of money, and especially these businesses are, recovering from, COVID when businesses were shut down and revenues were down. So it's really important to help these businesses, get the money that they lost during that 2-week period.
All right. Now, I'm going to be the student, and you're going to be the teacher. Okay, I'm back at De La Salle in my senior year, and I want to learn business interruption. Can you tell me, teacher, what is this formula for determining business interruption, especially in the context of Hurricane Ida?
Right.
That's easy.
So,
without a chalkboard.
Well, I'm going to try to break it down easy,
Okay, break it down.
And I'm going to tell you that there's 3 steps, but sometimes those steps end up having a lot of sub-steps to it. So it's like you're back in algebra. But let me start by kind of quoting from an insurance policy. I know that's a legal document and that's your arena, but really this is where our guidance comes from as to how to calculate a business interruption claim. Most insurance policies define the loss of business income as the net profit or loss before income taxes that would have been earned or incurred and continuing normal operating expenses incurred, including employee payroll. So that's a pretty technical definition, and that's what I'm kind of breaking down into 3 steps here.
Okay. So that's gross income. That's gross money that's coming in, basically, the first part. Gross revenue, right?
So yeah. So the first part, net profit or loss. Okay, that is not saying loss of revenue. It's the net income you would have earned on that revenue. So in order to determine what that net profit or loss, step 1 is really to project what amount of revenue would I have made had the hurricane not occurred. So again, I'm going to try to simplify it here, and I'm going to use an example of a business is earning $100,000 a month, earning in sales and revenues, $100,000 a month. And they're out for 2 weeks. And if everything stays normal for the rest of the month, then they would have maybe earned $50,000 instead of the $100,000. So their loss of income is, $50,000 in that example. So how do you figure out what your loss of revenue is? Well, we look at historical. We look at past years. What's the monthly average revenue? What's the prior months, the most current months? You take into an account maybe peak periods. An example is this is the week before the Labor Day holiday. So tourism businesses were maybe expecting to have a big weekend, and their revenue would have been a little higher than just the monthly average. So we do have to look at trends and peaks. You might look at what a growth trend is. I was growing 5% a month in revenue. For a small business, that may be a lot. One of the things we really have to take into consideration this year is, when you're looking at it historical, is what happened in 2020 and how did it affect your business?
Especially
so a lot of times we'll look at, okay, well, they're normally doing, like I said, $100,000 a month. But in 2020, if you put that average into it, and they did a lot less because they were shut down due to COVID, or they were only partially open, a restaurant could only open maybe at 50% capacity, we might have to make some adjustments for some of that. That's certainly something that's important to consider.
And so
that's step 1.
That's step 1.
What your lost revenue is step 1. And then step 2 is, how much would have you earned on that revenue? What is your net income on that revenue? Again, we look at historical. They're earning on average 20% a month. So we would take that $100,000, multiply it times 20%, and expect that they would have earned $20,000 for the month. But, they didn't, of course, it's because they were shut down.
Right.
So then there's step 3.
Okay.
And that's the continuing normal operating expenses. Once we figure out what the net income would have been, you add back to it normal operating expenses that continued during the loss period.
So give us examples of continuing expenses, like in a typical business.
So we're shut down, but we still have to pay rent for landlord.
Right.
We may still have to pay some utility bills. I know a lot of the utility companies are giving you credits, but you have to pay health insurance for your employees.
Right.
You're still paying for supplies. If you're partially open and operating, you may have some cost of goods sold. So anything that happens in your business on a regular day-to-day operation that you paid that expense or incurred that expense during the shutdown is a continuing
expense. So basically,
expense.
you would have paid that expense whether you were shut down or not. That's
correct.
Okay.
And a big one there is payroll. The definition specifically says including employee payroll. So if you paid your payroll, even though everybody was gone, evacuated, not working, then, it's very likely that that payroll will be covered. Some policies have some limits for owners and officers.
Okay. Now, where is the best place to get this information if you're a small business? Like, what's as far as you'd reference, you could go the month before, or you can go off a tax return from maybe 2019 as opposed to 2020 for a lot of businesses because of COVID. But a lot of times just your basic Peachtree or whatever accounting software you have should be able to kick out those expenses pretty easily. Is that correct?
That's correct. But it's only as good as the information that gets put into the software.
Right. So you got to make sure.
Tax returns will work if it's a small business that maybe they're not up to date monthly. They don't keep good records. You can go rely on your tax return and try to figure out what some averages are. But if you're a business that has internal software, whether they're using QuickBooks or Peachtree, monthly profit and loss statements are the best. Other revenue reports would also be needed and helpful, especially in some industries that comes into play. So we look at annual and the monthly financial statements. And prior to the loss event, but also you need that information throughout the loss event. If you are a business that has a bigger loss, it's going to go on a longer term, you'll need to provide those profit and loss statements throughout that loss period.
Gotcha.
And then payroll reports and records will be needed to show what the continuing normal operating payroll is. So normal is another key word in that definition. Is, we can't pay everybody more saying, okay, the insurance company is going to cover this because it's a continuing expense. It has to be what you normally pay them.
Gotcha. All right, Anita, we're going to go to break, but if anybody wants to ask questions for you, what's a good number to call you at Wegman Dawsett?
It's Wegman Dawsett.
Dawsett. That's what. Oh, no. I had bad pronunciation. Okay.
And, yeah, so.
And what's the phone number and email?
If they have any questions.
Yeah, phone number and email.
Phone number?
Yeah.
504-837-8844 is our main office line. They can just ask for me. And then my email is azimmer, so it's AZIMMER at WDCO.biz, B-I-Z.
All right. Well, if you stay through the break, I'll pay you double for the next segment, if that's okay. Is that okay?
That's great.
That's great. So that's an accounting problem issue right there. All right, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri with Anita Zimmer. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
After Saints games, we all Monday morning quarterback. But Coach Payton and his staff get down to business, watching game tape, drilling down on team play and individual player performance. They see what we don't, size up what we can't. That's why we bring you the Saints Coaches Show. Hi, it's Mike Hoss. Monday nights at 6:30, join me, Bobby A. Bear, and head coach Sean Payton for the Saints Coaches Show. Honest conversations.
Okay, we'll come live after a water heater commercial.
And then
Navia.
my boat in Seabrook
so Jay's
Harbor
gonna call
Marine's
back
dry
at
stack
8:50,
facility.
right?
And when my boat
And
does
yeah,
need a
we're gonna
repair,
you'll have in the neighborhood of 10, 11 minutes
And David and Jeff Mons have the finest repair
before
facility
50.
I've ever seen. Jeff, tell us about your capabilities.
Bobby, we are the Gulf Coast's most advanced state-of-the-art yacht and boat repair facility. Be it fiberglass, paint, gel coat, carpentry, mechanical, or electrical repairs, we do it all. We also build custom parts and do complete refits. We are located near the ICW, which makes us accessible from anywhere along the Gulf Coast.
And now party boat rentals.
What better way to beat the heat than our 24-foot pontoon boat? It's available for half and full day rentals. It's one more reason for us to say, boating made easy.
Seabrook Marina on France Road on the Industrial Canal, just a half mile from the lake. And online at SeabrookHarborMarine.com.
If your electricity is back on, but your AC unit is not working properly, we know how you feel. The proud American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning dealers are here to serve you. Whether you need your unit serviced or replaced, call 888-648-1165 or go online to ac-supply.com. That's 888-648-1165 or online at ac-supply.com. Call your American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning dealers now, 888-648-1165 or online at ac-supply.com.
The New Orleans you love is coming back. Our kitchens are bustling. Charbroiled oysters, poor boys, and gumbo coming right up. Our street corners are musical again. Jazz, soul, and funk fill the air. Our shops are open. Our museums are ready to walk you through history, filling you with stories to tell long after you're gone. But you're never really gone, not for long. What have you missed the most? Visit NewOrleans.com to plan your trip. We can't wait to see you.
When our Saints hit the field, they're prepared. They've got a plan. They've got a playbook. What's your retirement playbook? Whether you're already retired or closing in on retirement, the Retirement Playbook can help you get ready. Get your free copy of the Retirement Playbook right now. Visit saintsretirementplaybook.com. That's saintsretirementplaybook.com. Brought to you by Presley Wealth Management, the official wealth management partner of the New Orleans Saints.
Come on down to the Silver Slipper. Hi, this is John from the Silver Slipper Casino, here to tell you about our $450,000 Win That giveaway going on here at the Slipper. Come and play any of your favorite slots or table games any Friday or Saturday in the months of October, November, and December, and you'll be earning a chance to play the Win That Beanbag Toss game and win up to $10,000 in free slot play. And you can win up to $40,000 in cash in free play on the last Saturday of each month. Silver Slipper Casino, we are proud to be your host on the coast.
Have a good time at the Silver Slipper.
As life gets back to normal here, Diamonds Direct is doing our part with a special offer that's guaranteed to make celebrating those important moments easier and more affordable than ever. You can make any purchase at Diamonds Direct now and spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest. And everything's included. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands. Plus, every sale at Diamonds Direct will benefit Cajun Navy Ground Force and Second Harvest. Buy now, spread your payments over 5 years, and give back at Diamonds Direct on Severn Avenue across from Lakeside Mall.
Holly here. Premium windows. Professionally measured, professionally installed. ReliefWindows.com.
Rejuvenate your mornings with Rejuvame. RejuvameMedical.com.
You went online to switch your car insurance to Progressive so you could save money. But then you saw a friend request from an old summer camp buddy. And now here you are, clicking through photos of his kickball team from 2011. Oh, looks like they won the championship that year. Then he moved to Tulsa. Oh, a new tattoo. Yes, they said it was easy to save hundreds on car insurance with Progressive, but they forgot about the rest of the internet. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. National average savings by new customer surveyed who saved in 2019.
We're all on this planet together. So join Odyssey and find
Okay, we'll have 8 minutes.
September is World Ozone Month, so it's a great month to get rid of all your aerosol sprays and replace them with eco-friendly options. Also, check your air conditioner to make sure it doesn't have any leaks and schedule any necessary repair or maintenance. And lastly, use your car less by walking or biking to close destinations. The ozone layer will thank you. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Navien tankless water heaters, the proven leader in condensing technology. Request a Navien because you deserve the best in endless hot water delivery. Learn about Navien's condensing tankless water heaters and find a Navien contractor at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Back to the Ida Recovery Connection on the station you turn to when it counts. WWL, the Big 870 AM, 105.3 FM, WWL.com, and the Odyssey app. Contact attorney Doug Sunseri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, the Ida Recovery Connection with CPA Anita Zimmer with a bunch of other letters after that. Which means she's pretty smart there. A CPA with Wegman Dozat. Did I say that right? Dozat. Dozat. You see, my problem is I took enunciation class, but the problem was Buddy Diliberto was my teacher, so sometimes I get a little mixed up here on I mispronounce names sometimes.
My teacher used to say you got the accent on the wrong syllable.
There you go. Well, that was the correct pronunciation at my school at De La Salle. I mean, at St. Angela, actually. So if we said it a different way, they would correct us, I think. Not at De La Salle. Mr. Stabler would kick my butt if I said that. All right. Let me ask you this. You know, one of the things we try to do in part of the radio show is trying to present the information to the insurance company in a way that is digestible. Like, for example, a lot of damage assessments, if we can get them in an Xactimate program, they can digest that a lot easier. What are some of your recommendations for a business submitting a business interruption claim to make it more digestible for the insurance company so that they can evaluate it rather than kick it back for, various reasons?
Right. Well, first off, a lot of the insurance companies are going to hire a CPA to do a calculation for them. Unless it's a very small claim, most of these adjusters don't have the experience and just, don't want to deal with accounting.
Mm-hmm.
So, one of the things you may get help from your CPA. We're glad to help people with that. The other thing is, I think it comes back to the basic formula I talked about. If you could do a schedule saying, this was my revenue before, and I was out for 2 weeks, and this is 2 weeks average of what we projected it would be, times, and then a schedule that's going to show this is my average net income over a certain time period. And then finally, here's the expenses that I had to pay for the continuing expenses. And if you can have a summary sheet, and then behind that, you've got, Schedule 1 with the revenue, Schedule 2 with the net income, Schedule 3 with the continuing expenses. And then in providing that, you also provide them the profit and loss statements, the payroll reports, and the possible tax returns, then, that will help to process the business interruption claim more quickly.
Now, what are some of the things when you're working on these business interruption claims with the insurance company, what are some of the things that y'all sort of knock heads on? What are some of the issues or line items that that's in, sometimes in dispute that y'all go back and forth on?
Right. Well, the key driver to it is really the revenue projection.
Mm-hmm.
So, the client always thinks, the business always thinks they would have made $1 million, even though, this was going to be their best month ever. And they submit a claim with a high revenue projection. And yet, the history shows they're only doing $500,000 a month. So it's be realistic. And, have the support and revenue projection in line with what you were doing and what you were really expecting to do.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point, because a lot of times if you're not reasonable, they're probably not going to look at the rest of the claim and just kick it back. Because I always say you got to hang the meat low enough where they'll jump. even though, you may have some negotiation in between, but if you hang it too high, they're not even going to probably address a lot of the issues because they're going to say this is just not in the ballpark.
That's right.
What is
one of the things, Doug, I wanted to mention has to do with extra expense.
Yes.
We've talked about continuing expense.
Okay.
Continuing expense, like you said, that's what you normally incur on a monthly basis. Even before there's a hurricane. Extra expense or expenses that you incur during this loss period that you normally would not have had if you had not had, some type of physical loss or damage to your property.
Like, for example?
And those expenses are usually necessary either to continue operating your business, maybe partially, or at an original location, maybe at a temporary location, you had to relocate. And it's also things that you can use to help minimize the time that your business is unable to operate. So, again, if your building is damaged, you might have to go rent a temporary location or rent a trailer. Well, that rent would be considered an extra expense. If you got a generator and fuel so that you could operate during this loss period, that would be covered as an extra expense. And then sometimes they will cover the accounting fees as an extra expense. That's a fee that you incur to help you get your business interruption claim process.
Now,
you normally wouldn't have had that.
We got about 2 or 3 minutes before we got to end the segment. How do you deal with a business that's operating at a partial capacity? How do you deal with that particular issue?
You really address it the same way. You look at how much you were doing before and how much you were doing after. So I'm going to go back to my simple calculation and saying then, they were doing $100,000 a month before, and they're not operating at all for 1 month. Makes an easy example. And you multiply that times their 20% historical net income, then they would have had net profit on that of $20,000. In this example, they had $80,000 worth of operating expenses before. But because they're shut down, there are some expenses that they don't incur. So let's just say there's $40,000 that continues. Mm-hmm. So I've got my $20,000 net profit plus a $40,000 continuing expenses. Well, that would make my BI loss of $60,000 if I had not operated at all. But using the same example, they were able to operate partially. And instead of earning zero, they earned $50,000 in revenues that month. So my $60,000 net income is now reduced by the actual revenue that they earned. I mean, their revenues are paying their expenses, so they're only going to get the difference.
Now we got about a minute left. Any final advice you'd give to any business owners who are looking into filing a business interruption claim?
I guess one big thing would be to, in their accounting system, set up a separate general ledger account to track all your accounting expenses. Don't mix it with your regular continuing expenses. And that's going to make it a lot easier. You'll be able to sort out your physical damage expenses that you've paid from your continuing expenses and from your extra expenses. And so that's kind of a quick tip there.
There you go. And if anybody wants to contact you, your firm, if you could give all the contact information, just let it rip.
Okay. Well, they can call us at they can reach me at our Metairie office, area code 504-837-8844. And then also via email, it's azimmer, AZIMMER, at wdco.biz.
And y'all have a North Shore office. Yeah, and y'all have a North Shore office too. That's by exit 57 and I-12. Is that right? Off by the
that's correct.
By the Office of Workers' Comp Court, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, and so, well, Anita, I appreciate you staying with us on Tuesday nights. I'm sorry, did you miss The Voice or something tonight on TV or whatever? So, but no.
I don't watch much reality.
I don't watch that. I'm being facetious. If it's not a football game on, chances are I'm not watching it, basketball. But thank you so much. And if anybody has any questions regarding business interruption, you can call Anita. She's very smart. She's got a bunch of initials after her name. There's so many. I don't have time to say, but she does a great job. She's done a bunch of work for us and is a great firm. And so thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on tonight. It was a pleasure to talk with you.
All right. Well, thanks so much. And let's go to a break. It's Doug Sunseri and Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be right back with Jay Weiss of Second Harvest right after this brief timeout.
It's been a great start to the NFL season, and it's only getting better at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. DraftKings is putting new customers in the center of the action with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Get in on the action now. It's simple. Just pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, and see how your team stacks up against the competition. Feel the NFL action like never before with a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. And the best part is you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings app now and use code BIG870. This week, new customers can get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes. Enter code BIG870 to get a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with your
Okay,
first
I've got
deposit.
Jay ready to
That's
go.
code BIG870. Only at DraftKings, the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Back when the Earth was new, tubes of lava flowed up from the heart of the Earth.
And those lava tubes are the diamond mines of today.
I love diamonds.
But created diamonds are born in a plasma chamber.
They are chemically, structurally, and optically identical to diamond mine diamonds.
You'll have about 6 minutes till the top of the hour break.
Or a gas.
It's the most rare substance on Earth.
But the most abundant substance in the universe.
Have I ever seen plasma?
A bolt of lightning is plasma.
And the sun is made of plasma.
Created diamonds are born inside a miniature sun?
You can think of it as a miniature sun or as a ball of lightning.
You have to put a tiny seed of diamond into the plasma chamber for every created diamond you hope to make.
So that's why we call them newborns.
Diamond mine diamonds and created diamonds.
We give you every choice.
Welcome to Ramsey's.
Ramsey's Diamond Jewelers, the largest diamond store in Louisiana, on Veterans between Bonneville and West End in Metairie.
Here's an important message from Brad Hassert with the Louisiana State Licensing Board for contractors in the aftermath of Hurricane Ida.
License is required for any type of work over $7,500. And those who aren't licensed, to put it very bluntly, is we don't know who they are. We can't tell you that they're competent or they're any quality of work, and you often have no recourse. Those types of guys are the ones that typically take advantage of people in bad work or overcharge or essentially just theft. You know, they take the money and they don't come and do any work at all. The problem with it is that happens so frequently after any type of weather event. You know, people they're anxious to get their stuff going. The board recommends that you verify licensure and insurance on anybody that you do business with. Anybody who wants to get paid in cash, that's always a bad sign. I know that you want your house fixed, but take a minute and just sort through it. If you feel like you've been taken advantage of, let us know. www.lacontractor.org, and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions that we possibly can.
That's lacontractor.org.
Here at Janney King, we've received a large influx of calls related to the Delta variant happening along the Gulf Coast. We'd like to remind all that this surge is different than what we experienced before. If we social distance, wear our masks, wash our hands, disinfect high-touch surfaces, and talk to your doctor about getting one of the vaccines that are widely available and effective in this fight, we can get through this together. From all of us at Janney King, please stay safe and keep it clean.
Janney King, the king of clean.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Companies. If you thought you missed your chance to refinance and save, think again. Mortgage rates have recently dropped
5
below
minutes
3%,
here.
and Rocket Mortgage can help you save big. You could lower your monthly payment and prepare yourself for a better financial future. But you've got to act now. Call us today at 833-8ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rocket. Conditions apply. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
I heard the COVID-19 vaccine.
Do you really know about the long-term...
Did you read that thing on the internet about that?
There's a lot of talk about COVID-19 vaccines. Talk to your doctor or healthcare provider to make
right
the
after
decision
Oakland Heart.
that's right for you. Visit getvaccineanswers.org for more. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
At Oakland Heart, we don't just move diamonds. We move people. Breathtaking diamonds, stunning designs, rings, bracelets, earrings, and necklaces, all at the best possible prices. Simply compare. Oakland Heart Jewelers on Metairie Road.
Thanks for joining attorney Doug Sunseri on the Ida Recovery Connection from the station you turn to when it counts, WWL. Consult with Doug now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers talk and text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, the Ida Recovery Connection. We got about 5 minutes before the top of the hour, and we have Jay Weiss, Director of Communications and Marketing for Second Harvest. Hey, Jay, thanks for calling in. Good to hear from you again. I can't believe it's been 8 years since you've left WWL, huh? Jeez.
I know, man. It's this whole last year and a half's been kind of crazy, but I joined. It was October 15th, 2013, my last day at WWL, and started the next day at Second Harvest. But really, really happy that I've been able to come back on with my alumni,
That's right.
to talk about the good work the staff and volunteers here do. And I really appreciate it, Doug.
Tell us what's happening since Hurricane Ida with Second Harvest, and what's coming up.
Yeah. Well, we've been in full-on response mode from before Ida. We keep a disaster response plan in place and tweaked up year-round. The pandemic was something that was technically on paper for us. First time we've done one of those. And it was, we helped as many people as we could. We got into 2020, then had the 3.5 hurricanes, Laura and Delta and Zeta, and got through the winter, spring, and have still been dealing with the effects in terms of need in the communities from the pandemic. Not everybody got back to normal. Back into the hurricane season, bring us to today. We've been responding to the Hurricane Ida need for the last month. And we're transitioning now to the long-term recovery. We've been in 14 parishes, including the Metro New Orleans area and Tangipahoa, all the river parishes, the Bayou community as well. We're scaling up to basically identify where we're going to be now long-term in Lafourche, Terrebonne, especially St. John Parish, St. James, St. Mary, Plaquemines, all the parishes that got so much damage and so much long-term impact. Although, it's down to about 12,000 people without power in the state, and most of those in Lafourche, Terrebonne. A lot of those people cannot get back in their homes. They cannot be back to where they were.
Well, one of the things that is, that we lose sight of maybe is the amount of human suffering and the lack of basic needs that people have in the aftermath of this. And, and you guys are really, trying to fill a need as far as getting people's needs met.
Yeah. It's heartbreaking to see. Folks in these areas have been through storms before like we have, but somebody have told me this is the worst yet. And a lot of people getting help for the first times in their lives, people who have never reached out, really, really proud people. That's how we are in South Louisiana, especially in these communities. And it's hard for them to ask for help. And we just let them know, hey, everything that we're able to do is because somebody opened up their wallet or made a donation to us or donated water or cleaning supplies. So we're just passing on the gift of love. We're doing everything we can to make it possible for people in our communities to help each other.
We got about a minute to go. What can the listeners do to help you guys fill this need?
Doug, thanks, man. For folks who want to find out how to join the fight, check out our website, no-hunger.org, no-hunger.org. Just Google up Second Harvest Food Bank, South Louisiana, first response. Find out what you need to donate in terms of disaster supplies, how to make a monetary donation. Every dollar helps us provide 4 meals now and year-round. And if you want to volunteer, we have more than 10,000 volunteers a year. We need more. So check it out at no-hunger.org. Doug, thanks as always, man. It's good to talk to you.
And thank you for your good work. I appreciate your heart, and I appreciate you trying to meet the need. And you're welcome anytime if y'all Second Harvest has anything coming up. So God bless you, Jay, and keep up the good work. We'll be back for hour number 2 now. Ida Connection. Stay tuned. See you in 10 minutes after the news.
The News Talk Sports Powerhouse.
Okay, I've got a guy named Dan who knows you, as he said he knows you anyway, holding, and then we'll get Keith on the phone here after the news.
Ken? His name's Ken?
Sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
Ken.
Jennifer Kuiper in Chicago. Senate Republicans have for a second time blocked a procedural step to get a vote on raising the federal debt limit. It comes as Congress is looking at a possible shutdown later this week. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell and Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Well, Democrats want to use fast-track party line processes to spend trillions of dollars and transform the country. They'll have to use the same tool to raise the debt ceiling.
He is totally doing a 180-degree turn from what he has offered time and time again.
The president also continues to push to get a deal on the massive reconciliation bill, holding separate meetings with Senate moderates Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema here at the White House.
That's CBS's Skylar Henry reporting. Grilled by Capitol Hill lawmakers on the Afghanistan pullout, Joint Chiefs Chairman General Mark Milley says the U.S. lost its understanding of what Afghan security forces were willing and able to do.
But we clearly missed that. I think one of the key factors we missed it for was we pulled our advisors off 3 years ago. And when you pull the advisors out of the units, you no longer can assess things like leadership and will.
Progress is being made on giving COVID booster shots. CBS's Naomi Ruckham.
Federal health officials say hundreds of thousands of Americans have already received their booster shots.
Once I heard that we were cleared to get the booster in my age group, I wanted to sign up for it.
The CDC says new data shows the boosters are well tolerated and most adverse reactions were mild or moderate.
More than 5 life sentences without parole is what Jared Ramos has received for walking into a Maryland newspaper office in 2018 and shooting to death 5 people. Andrea Shambly lost a relative.
Today is a day that should feel like a monumental end of something, but I'm still not sure that something will ever end. This is a lifelong pain that we're all carrying and that we talked about a little bit today.
Gabby Petito's family calls for her fiancé, Brian Laundrie, to turn himself into authorities. He disappeared days before Gabby's remains were identified in Wyoming. Her mother, Nicole Schmidt, saying,
We actually got behind a car yesterday and there was a Wyoming sticker and the letters were GBZ.
Gabs.
So Gabs. She's with us. She's with us.
The family has announced the creation of the Gabby Petito Foundation. Britney Spears has a court hearing tomorrow in her attempt to amend her conservatorship. Jamie Spears was granted control over her personal and business affairs in a court-ordered conservatorship in 2008. He stepped down from the position in August. U.S. consumer confidence slides for a 3rd consecutive month. This is CBS News.
This hour's newscast is presented by Rocket Mortgage. When you need cash out of your home and a simple way to get it, Rocket can.
If the Oral-B IO electric toothbrush had a theme song, this would be it.
I think you're gonna wanna see this.
Only IO combines Oral-B's dentist-inspired round brush head with gentle micro vibrations for a brushing experience even dentists have hailed as literally the best brush I've ever used. Get the wow of a professional clean feel every day with the IO from Oral-B, the #1 brand used by dentists.
You're gonna see what everybody's talking about.
Oral-B, brush like a pro.
Dell's semi-annual sale is the perfect opportunity for a significant business upgrade. Save up to 45% on Dell computers built for business with Windows 10 Pro. Plus, enjoy special pricing on Dell docks, monitors, servers, and more, all with easy financing options through Dell Financial Services. Succeed anywhere with Windows 10 Pro. Speak to a Dell Technologies advisor today to find the right tech for your business with fast, free shipping. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
WWL First News. I'm Chris Miller on your official weather station, WWL AMFMN.com.
We're looking at the clouds, the humidity, and some scattered rain as we head into the rest of this evening. Most of the rain will be wrapping up after sunset and into tonight. And then as we move into Wednesday, we have a pretty good 70% or so chance for some scattered showers and storms, mostly in the afternoon. Our highs will only be around 83. So at least we have that. Less heat, of course, when we have these clouds and the rain around.
WWL TV meteorologist Alexandra Cranford's local weather expert forecast is just ahead. Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards says you need to keep that mask on.
I just signed an executive order extending the current mitigation measures another 28 days.
So that is the statewide indoor mask mandate.
The mandate was set to expire tomorrow, but Edwards says despite our recent progress, we still have a lot more COVID in the state than we did before the Delta surge began.
Every community in the state of Louisiana continues to have a high amount of COVID.
Matt Doyle, WWL First News.
The governor bemoaned the fact that only a little over half of all Louisianans have gotten their first COVID shot. The New Orleans mask mandate and vaccine requirements are staying in place for now. Mayor's office spokesman Bo Tidwell today said there's no single thing that will determine.
Okay, I got Kevin on, and he's ready to go.
We've looked at all.
We got Dan and Kevin here.
What are the fatalities? What are the hospital capacity rates? So it's. I don't have a red line for you.
Tidwell did praise efforts so far for reducing new cases by more than 75%, called it encouraging, and said we are likely to see some changes.
Say again, please. I'm sorry.
I want to bring Kevin on first.
After weeks of declines, COVID-19 hospitalizations in Louisiana are up slightly today. WWL TV's Jade Cunningham has the numbers.
There are a little less than 1,000 hospitalizations right now. About 1,000 new cases were reported in the last day, along with 54 new deaths.
State Health Officer Dr. Joe Cantor sounds the alarm about just how dangerous the Delta variant has been for pregnant women. He says the state has recorded 14 severe pregnancy outcomes as a result of COVID infection.
Amongst those 14 cases, they have resulted in 6 maternal deaths, 6 pregnant moms have died in this surge, and 10 fetal deaths. 10 unborn children have died.
Dr. Cantor says the 14 severe cases reported during the Delta surge is more than the rest of the pandemic combined. Health officials say the vaccines are perfectly safe for pregnant women and their unborn babies.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
We have the cloudy skies, the humidity is up, and we have the rain. So a little bit of a difference, of course, since what we saw this weekend with that nice taste of fall. Lower 70s for overnight lows. We'll have mostly cloudy skies tonight and about a 30% chance just for a few showers in the area by early tomorrow. And then on Wednesday, we will increase the rain chance again to about 70%. Just be prepared for a few showers scattered about, not widespread flooding, nothing like that, but we will have maybe a downpour or two we'll watch for. Highs will be about 83. Thursday, we'll look for mostly cloudy skies again and a pretty decent chance once again for some rain on Thursday, about a 60% rain chance. Highs will be about 85. And then Friday and Saturday, some high pressure will start to build back in from the north, so our rain chance drops to about 20% both afternoons. A lot drier and a little warmer with highs closer to about 87 and partly cloudy skies. From your local weather expert forecast center, I'm WWL TV meteorologist Alexandra Cranford.
I'm Chris Miller, WWL First News.
From the station you turn to when it counts, WWL, AMFM.com, and the Odyssey app, Louisiana's official emergency management station. This is Ida Recovery Connection with attorney Doug Sunseri. Connect now on the Oakland Hart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870. Now, beaming back to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studio, here's Doug.
Hey, we're back for hour number 2 on the Ida Recovery Connection. Give us a call or text us 260-1870 or text us at the Oakland Hart Talk and Text line. We'll answer your question. We'll be on tomorrow night from 8 to 10, and I confirmed that my wife will be the guest, who's also my law partner. And so she will be in because I'm the boss of the household, and I told her she had to be a guest. So that's the way it normally works out. She didn't hear me say that, though. Okay, let's go. Let's bring up Kevin Manali. Kevin Manali is a building consultant, claims estimator. He's probably done about 2,000 post-disaster estimates for us. And Kevin, thanks for joining us this morning, tonight. You're not missing any football on Tuesday or Wednesday, so thanks for joining us.
No, hey, anyway, thank you. Well, anytime, I'm always here for you.
Even during football season, huh? Even during a
Whenever
football
you
game.
need me.
Whenever
you need me, I'm here.
You used to be a football referee, huh? And you were high school.
I used to be. I did it for 10 years. Yeah.
Where were you? Where were you? You a linesman, or were you behind the
umpire?
Oh, so you're in the.
I was the umpire.
You were dodging the passes up the middle.
Yep, I made a few defenses, I made a few tackles, and knocked a few people down, but I never hit the dirt.
All right. And also too, the belly play when they go up the middle. Sometimes I see them get run over.
Yeah, I try to avoid that. You can usually see as soon as the ball is snapped what's going on.
There
Believe me, you get used to avoiding those big boys. Even though they're only high school, there's still some big boys out there.
Sure. I mean, Louisiana has more NFL players per capita anywhere in the world, including the United States. So that's what Tommy Bowden used to say. You give me me those that Louisiana players that don't want to go to LSU, I'll make a top 10, 15 team. And that's what he did at Tulane. So that's how good we are. And that's all.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting off track, but all Nick Saban did was put a fence around Louisiana, and he won a national championship. That was his secret.
Yeah. That's all he needed to do.
And now he uses those Louisiana players to win national championships in Alabama. Okay, This is a law show, so people aren't calling for our analysis.
You need a little diversion. You need a little diversion once in a while.
You do. So absolutely. Okay. I wanted to. You sort of you hit the ground running a couple of weeks ago, and what are some of the big issues you're coming across in, addressing some of these estimates and addressing some of the issues with the insurance companies?
Well, the biggest thing so far is the mitigation of the roofs. You're supposed to mitigate your damages. So you mitigate your damages to prevent further loss. And then they want to come out and tell you only part of the roof is damaged, but you damaged the rest of it because you covered it. Now you have nail holes in it. Now you damaged it. So, what is it? Do you want us to mitigate damages, or do you want us not to mitigate damages? It seems like we're on the hook, no matter as the consumer or as the the client of the insurance company, as to what we're supposed to do. You can't mitigate damages and cover your roof without putting nails in it.
Yeah.
But then if they say if you pull the cover up for them, or they pull it up and agree to pull it up and put it back, then they'll say, "Oh, no damage here," and you put nails in it, so you damaged your roof.
Well,
you can't have it both ways.
Well, today, all the people who didn't have blue roofs found out where their leaks were again because of the rain that came. And so the first thing you do have to do is secure your roof either by blue tarp or not. And that's we had a client call today who said, the adjuster suggested that if I if I put a blue roof, I may damage the good portion of the roof. I told her, go put it on, protect your house. We'll deal with it.
Yeah,
and so
because if you don't do it, and there's leaks there, then they're going to say you didn't do it.
And I told her
you did it too late.
And I told us that if anybody gets you trouble, I'm going to get Vito Corleone on it, and it won't be a problem. Is Dan still on the line?
Dan's here.
All right, let's bring up Dan. Hey, Dan, you on the Ida Recovery Connection with Doug Sunseri and Kevin Manali.
House will deal with it. Yeah. Because if you don't do it, and there's leaks there.
Dan, my man, you there?
Hello.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? I knew it was you. That's why I wanted to bring you up with Kevin. How you doing, brother?
Good for an old man.
Huh? You're not that old. I think you were born early on during the Roosevelt administration, right?
Something like that.
That was Franklin and not Theodore, right?
Teddy's.
Got you there, Dan.
You caught me napping, man.
Yeah, I caught you napping. All right.
Yeah, listen, lady.
How'd you come through? How'd you come through the Hurricane Ida? You did all right, brother?
Well, I got one house that looks like they might want to tear it down. It's one of them little houses on David Drive. They're very fragile. And I got a lot of damage to that one. But the main question I want to know, my son owns a house in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
It's a summer home type thing, but he rents it out. And I just wanted to know, I went up there can I pay him rent?
Mm-hmm.
In other words, getting to write me up a lease and
yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. If you have to if you cannot live in your present residence because it is not habitable, you can rent a structure. Rent another place that's comparable to where you're living right now at a market rate. Absolutely.
It's a lot less than what I'm living at, man. But he rents it out to people for weekends and things like that. And they want me to go to Florida, but it was kind of far for an old man to go. My health is really going to hell. But as long as my soul don't go, then I'm in good shape.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. You sound good. You can. If that's additional living expenses, if your house is inhabitable, and you got additional living expenses, that would be additional living expenses to rent an alternative place while your insured structure is being restored. So absolutely. And, a lot of people are doing that right now. A lot of people are buying campers and putting in their front lawn because they can't obviously sleep in a house that's got a lot of mold. And, the insurance companies should pay for it. And I'm telling them, I said, buy it on time so you don't have to put a lot of money up front. And then submit the bill to the insurance company so when it comes in, you could pay off the rest of it. So but that's part of the additional living expenses. That's why you pay the premium. All right.
Listen, what rest of the story? I moved out of the house and into his house. Can I give him anything for board here?
You moved out of your house into his house. Yeah.
The house I rented from him, I moved back into town because that was in Mississippi. Yeah. But my house was so much damage to it, I still couldn't get in it. I thought I would be. So now I'm staying with him. He's paying for all my food and all, but I'd like to reimburse him.
Any reasonable additional expenses from your alternate living arrangements pending the restoration or fixing your house is permissible. Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, Doug. And
all right.
Hope you managed okay during the storms.
It's all manageable. We're dealing. We haven't. We got our own little insurance issues we're dealing with. So.
One more thing.
Yes, sir.
One more thing. I've been dealing with Doug about 15 years. I've always been happy with the outcome and the way you treat people. So if anybody has any problems,
we can do a break.
We'll see you guys.
All right. Well, I appreciate Dan. And the check's in the mail. All right, brother. All right. That is very kind of you, and I appreciate that sincerely. All right. We're going to go to break. We got Kevin Manali here. We're going to talk a little bit more about his, boots on the ground and some of the things he's coming across, especially with roofs and issues he's having with negotiating with claims adjusters and estimates. So we'll be right back after this brief timeout.
Keep it locked on WWL for breaking sports.
Okay, I have two holding for you. One is TJ from Laplace, and he has a problem with his landlord not fixing his abode that he was paid to fix. We have Marshall from Mandeville, and he was wondering about if he can include tree removal in his claim, whether it's insurance or FEMA.
Beautiful beachside highway.
Got it.
You can cruise in for the Vicari Auto Auction, headliner concerts, flamethrowing and burnout contests, and so much more at America's largest block party. Go to cruiseinthecoast.com for more details.
Funded in part by Visit Mississippi and Visit Coastal Mississippi.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. I trust J&J to protect my home and family.
J&J has protected Louisiana homes and businesses for over 50 years. We shield your home from termites, roaches, ants, mosquitoes, and other pests. J&J Exterminating is Louisiana's largest independently owned pest control company. We know what works in Louisiana's climate. Get the shield.
J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
There's a lot of streaming services out there, each filled with reality TV, comedy, drama, and of course, superheroes. But there's one dedicated entirely to nonfiction TV and documentary films, and that's Curiosity Stream. History, science, nature, we've got it. Space, dinosaurs, big cats, we've got that too. And pretty much anything else you want to explore. Go ahead, add some smart TV to your smart TV with CuriosityStream. Go to curiositystream.com to sign up and start streaming today.
As life gets back to normal here, Diamonds Direct is doing our part with a special offer that's guaranteed to make celebrating those important moments easier and more affordable than ever. You can make any purchase at Diamonds Direct now and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. And everything's included: rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands. Plus, every sale at Diamonds Direct will benefit Cajun Navy Ground Force and Second Harvest. Buy now. Spread your payments.
Okay, we got the brick. The last one is Zip Brick Cruiser.
On Severn Avenue across from Lakeside Mall.
Since 1935, the All-State Sugar Bowl has been a proud New Orleans New Year's Day tradition. Through its annual college football and amateur sports, the Sugar Bowl attracts hundreds of thousands of visitors.
Okay, Marshall just left the building. We got TJ from LaPlace.
Sources from these events enable the Sugar Bowl to support education and community programs, impacting thousands of New Orleans area teachers and citizens. The All-State Sugar Bowl, proud to host the best of the Big 12 and the SEC in the Superdome on New Year's Day 2022.
Hey, this is Paul LaGrange, host of the Home Improvement Show. Trust is what Burkhardt Air Conditioning Heating is all about.
We got Marshall back on.
Trust them to be there quick and to get you back up and running. If you need a new AC, trust Burkhardt to treat you with respect, to help you save with a fair price, and to do the job right. As John Burkhardt says, trust is the foundation of their business. Just ask their customers. For all air conditioning this year, trust Burkhardt.
So it's Marshall, then TJ. And of course, we have Kevin.
Oh, according to research, 82% of people remember radio ads. That means that 82% of you listening right now will remember that this is an ad for ZipRecruiter. If you're hiring, 82% of you will recall that ZipRecruiter makes hiring faster and easier. And 82% of you will note that you can try ZipRecruiter for free today. But you have to go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. Yes, free. 82% of you will keep in mind that ZipRecruiter's technology finds qualified people for your job and actively invites them to apply.
Scott, is that you? Who are you talking to?
82% of you will also know that I live with my mom. But the most important thing to note is that ZipRecruiter works. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Will you be part of the 82% who remember where you can try ZipRecruiter for free? It's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Again, that exclusive link is ZipRecruiter.com/free. How much? Free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's continuing coverage of the Ida recovery on WWL-AMFM.com and the Odyssey app. Reach attorney Doug Sunseri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
All right, we're back. We have Doug Sunseri, the Ida Recovery Connection, with Kevin Manali, building consultant, estimator. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to TJ. He's got a question, I think, from LaPlace. Hey, TJ, you and the Ida Recovery Connection. What can we do for you, brother?
Good evening. How are you?
Good.
I'm calling regarding I do rent or lease a property in LaPlace, a commercial property in a shopping center that sustained a lot of damage.
Yes, sir.
And now the landlord, it's been a month, nothing has been done. And he said that he had to get an adjuster to check the insurance company. I have a question. Since we the one who paid the insurance really, but it's in his name, it's a commercial lease, net lease, we pay rent, insurance, and tax. And now everything the adjuster had told us from the insurance company, they're telling us the opposite. What is our legal right to can we contact the adjuster, the original adjuster, and see what they paid for?
Well, it's depending on what you're insuring. If you're insuring the interior of your building, you could collect basically what you lost, or what the investment you put into it. Now, your landlord, as far as occupying the premises after, usually most leases say if there's a disaster, the lessee and the lessor have a procedure where they can get out of the lease, especially if it's going to take more than 90 or 180 days to restore it. But you got to see what your insurance covers, because typically in a mall, the tenant's insurance will cover the interior. Now the landlord
but the building sustained a lot of damage from the outside too.
Right. Well, you have to look.
And I lost a part of the roof, like the AC unit and on the roof got blown away, and all that. And now we say no, that should be your responsibility. But it's on the building.
Well, really, you're going to have to read the lease. You're going to have to read the lease and read the insurance policy to disaggregate, what is the tenant and what is the landlord. So you really have to read the lease, and they usually have a disaster provision. And also the insurance, I'm sure does your insurance have business interruption?
Yes.
Okay, so you got a business interruption. Yes. You probably got an extra expense. So you would probably want to see that. It probably covers, what kind of business do you have?
A restaurant.
A restaurant? So it probably covers a lot of your appliances, your stoves, like your refrigeration, and all that. Now, whether if basically if you're not going to if you're going to leave that particular location, you can collect your money back for the cost of buying it, and then you take that money and go to another location. Or if you can work something out with your landlord where y'all work together and get it, reopened at some point, you'll take that money to restore it. So basically, I would suspect your policy would cover what's in the interior of the structure. I would suspect that he had his own policy. Are you the only tenant in this?
No, there is few of us, and they're all not happy at all.
Yeah, I'm sure he would have his own landlord's policy that maybe part of the rent was earmarked for that, but he's the insured on that. So you basically, whoever's the insured on the policy calls the shots.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, can I have your phone number for your office?
You can call us we're at 504 837-1304. So, and we'll be glad.
Okay, because a bunch of us need to talk to you and see what needs to be done, because it's been a whole month and nothing is done.
Yeah, well.
And I have employees, I need to let them know, am I coming back or I'm leaving?
Yeah.
Or,
I'd have a conversation with your landlord as far as expectations are concerned. Because the problem you're going to have is supplies are in short supply. Labor's in short supply, and so you got to make a realistic determination whether, how long you could stay out of business at that location, or go find another location. So, I mean, you have some business decisions to make also. But yes, so a lot of tough decisions. But get that business interruption claim together, and hopefully that'll sustain you until you get back on your feet. All right, my man. Thanks for calling, TJ.
Thank you very much.
Before we go to Kevin, before we go to Marshall, you've been out to Laplace, huh?
Yep. I've been out there.
Just tell us your impressions.
It's basically Katrina 2.0 only works, as far as the flooding and everything else. Katrina, believe it or not, it wasn't quite as much wind damage. There seems to be a lot more wind damage this time, along with the flood. I mean, the flood is the flood. It's really bad. And that kind of leads me to another point. You were asking about problems they were having with adjusters before. Getting some feedback from people that are saying the adjusters are telling them that all the damage in the house is flood damage. Well, if you got 3 feet of flood water and you got water damage to your ceiling because your roof leaked, I don't see how that's going to be flood damage. So that's kind of some of the things that, they're putting out there. And
I know some insurance companies are saying that since the majority of your damage is flood, you're not entitled to additional living expenses, and so because the flood policy doesn't provide for additional living expenses. So they'll say,
but still, and that's the causation thing. Is the house not livable because of flood or because of wind?
Right.
And that's the legal end of it that you handle.
Right.
When it comes to that, that's always been a big contention.
But basically, if the water comes from the roof and the sheetrock gets wet, it's not livable. I mean, it's just not.
Not in my opinion, it's not. When your ceilings fall in, I mean, that's kind of unlivable.
Yeah. In fact, they had someone had called today and said that they weren't going to pay for additional living expenses because of the flood damage. And he said, well, I have a respiratory condition. I can't stay in a molded house. And, I told him to tell the adjuster, it doesn't matter what in the heck, whether you have a breathing machine or not, or you have a respiratory, you can't stay in a molded house.
No.
Because
not if you got those kind of conditions.
Or even if you don't.
Yeah, true. You shouldn't stay in it anyway.
It does. It's a moot point. And again, I'm not one of these people who's saying insurance companies are evil, and I'm not extreme like that. But you do have to advocate. The insurance companies aren't going to advocate for you, and then they're going to make the interpretation of their policy that favors them. Just like we're going to make the interpretation of the policy that favors policyholders, which causes conflict and which causes an adversarial process. And when I say adversarial, I don't mean it in I just mean that you have to compete, to get your damages. But but a lot of the younger, what I'm saying is the adjusters who come out to the house are just taking information. And the decisions are being made by the desk adjusters back in the home office.
That seems to be the way it's playing out this time, yes.
And so a lot of them, the adjusters come to the house are instructed not to make comments about what may or may not happen. And then, you might have a torn up roof that clearly needs to be replaced, and it comes back as being a patch, which we'll talk about later.
Right.
Then chances are it was the desk adjusters who took that information and wrote the claim down. But again, it's all about advocacy.
Right.
Let's grab a phone call. Marshall's got a question regarding tree. Hey, Marshall, you're on the Ida Recovery Connection with Doug Sunseri and Kevin Minnelli.
Hey, good to talk to you guys. First of all, thank you so much for this platform, because it certainly helps people such as myself. I'm a retired engineer, and I still feel at a disadvantage, just information-wise, with this insurance company that we're dealing with and the adjuster. Long story short, they came in super low. My contractor came in what I thought was a reasonable price for a repair. It's my mom's house. She had the upper third of a huge cypress tree come down on through her kitchen, dining room, and living room. My question is this: what happens when you disagree? Number one, my contractor's already asked for a reinspection, and he wanted to be present for that. What does that involve? Number one. Number two is we just had an arborist come out and look at this tree, and he said that the tree is no longer viable and it is unsafe. Can that be something included in a bid, or is that a FEMA thing?
Well, generally, if the tree's not on a house or a structure, it is not an insured loss per se, or the removal is not insured. Okay. It could possibly fall under debris removal. If you have a lot of debris removal, would be $500 or $1,000. So if you have a tree that's dead, that could be considered debris removal, and you could put it under that. But most trees are going to cost a lot more than the limits for debris removal. But that's there. I think what you have to do as far as the insurance companies and appeals is be the squeaky wheel. I mean, just don't take no for an answer. Ask for someone else, because I hate to tell this story because I was in a different context at the time. But after Hurricane Katrina, I do know this because I was there, is the insurance company, I'm going to say this is a hypothetical so I don't get in trouble. But some insurance companies know that many people will stop negotiating prior to getting their full insurance loss. Let me give you an example for roofs. I think it's a pretty well established fact that most of these roofs that have been directly impacted by Hurricane Ida need to be replaced, period. I always say that, you're either pregnant or you're not. There's no in between on this issue. And so, but I think there's a prevailing attitude that, hey, if we offer less than the full amount on a roof, we think maybe 50 or 60% of people will take it because they feel uncomfortable about negotiating. If what I would do was keep asking for re-inspections until you hear yes, and be the royal squeaky wheel, and a lot of times that'll work. When you hit a brick wall where you feel like there's no way, they quit returning your calls, you hit the brick wall, then you're going to have to get legal help. And I'm not saying that to be self-serving, it's just the way it is. Because sometimes they'll need an enforcement mechanism to enforce that. Also, you can do something in the policy called appraisal, which depending on the policy, there's an appraisal process where you can get your contractor, they get a contractor, and they have an umpire. And the umpire could make a recommendation as to, what the damages are. So that's another alternative. You got to read the policy. It's sort of like arbitration, but you got to read the policy to see if that has that provision in there.
And real quick before I forget, I spoke with my mom earlier today, and she's already received the check from the insurance company. I told her, by all means, don't cash it.
No, you cash it. Cash it. It's okay. Because they're obligated to pay what's unconditional damages. You can cash it without recourse. What you're going to do is cash it, make an estimate for a supplement, and submit it to the insurance company.
Okay.
So,
but just accepting the check does not close the file per se.
Nope, not at all. Now they can say it closes it, but you're saying no, it doesn't. You keep the darn file open because we got more coming to you.
Okay.
So you tell them this is just a start. This is a down payment, brother. So thank you for the down payment, but we're coming after you for some more. All right, you just got to prove up your damages, and we'll talk about after the break with how Kevin, the procedure that is done, in Kevin's context, on how to get additional supplements and how it usually shakes out. All right.
Great.
All right, Marshall.
Blessing. Thank you so much.
Thanks for the call. Let's go to a break. We'll be right back in the Ida Recovery Connection with Doug Sunseri and Kevin Manali right after this brief timeout.
WWL is your home team, home of the New Orleans Saints, home of the LSU Fighting Tigers, home of Bobby Hebert, Deuce McAllister, and
okay, you're clear. No more phone calls.
Of the teams you love. Catch Sports Talk weekdays 4 to 8 p.m. with Bobby Hebert, Christian Garrick, and Mike Detillier. Then game.
Okay, we're going to close this set with Navian again, or hot water.
WL.
Doing your best work from home is not easy when you don't have the right space. California Closets will help you create a custom solution that works for you, your family, and your life. Whether it's a small space, shared space, multifunctional space, or kids space, our professional design consultants will help you get organized and make your space one that works better for you. Now you can love where you live and work. Schedule your free in-home or virtual design consultation today at CaliforniaClosets.com.
Hi, I'm Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser, the great state of Louisiana. Hurricane Ida has brought great devastation to our community. In time of need, Louisianans always step up and help their neighbor. This time is no different. We'll help our neighbors and friends get back as we always do. If you need help or know of someone that needs help or would like to volunteer or make a donation, go to volunteerlouisiana.gov. We are Louisiana Strong. Thank you.
Vinyltech is ready to help our hometown recover. We've tripled our staff and ordered 4 to 5 times more material than Cat 4 Hurricane Michael in Panama City and Cat 4 Hurricane Laura in Lake Charles. This is our hometown, and we know Cat 4 hurricanes and what it takes better than anyone. No one can get you back to exterior pre-storm conditions faster. This isn't a job for us. This is our passion, and this time, it's personal. Services we provide are tarping, roofing, siding, gutters, windows, stucco, and patio covers. One word, vinyltechnola.com.
Rizzuto's Ristorante and Pizzeria on the West Bank offers a family-friendly atmosphere with a full menu. There is something for everyone. Rizzuto's Ristorante and Pizzeria offers fantastic daily specials.
Every Monday, you can enjoy crab cakes. On Tuesday, it's chicken spadini. And lobster is every Wednesday, along with half-price bottles of wine. The Delmonico ribeye is the Thursday special, and barbecue shrimp every Friday. Stop by Rizzuto's Ristorante and Pizzeria, 2020 Belle Chase Highway in Gretna. Dine in or take out.
What says I love you like the gift of diamond stud earrings from Oak Heart? We personally searched through thousands of diamonds to choose only those special diamonds that possess the rare characteristics that achieve the biggest size with the most fire and brilliance for your money. We buy direct and cut out the middleman. That's how we bring you the best for less. Like your love, Oak Heart diamond stud earrings are like no other. Simply compare. Oak Heart Jewelers on Metairie Road. Beautiful in more ways than one.
What can give you a competitive edge in today's red-hot housing market? Rocket can. That's because Rocket Mortgage can give you a verified approval. It could help your offer stand out. Rocket Technology provides a rock-solid verification of your income, assets, and credit, giving sellers greater confidence in you. Go to rocketmortgage.com or call us today at 8338-ROCKET.
A verified approval is based on an underwriter's analysis of your individual financial information, appraisal, and title report. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender license in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 33.
Choosing a marriage and family therapist or counselor is a big decision. The Louisiana Licensed Professional Counselors Board of Examiners want you to know that state law requires mental health counselors and therapists to be licensed. Licensure requires a minimum of a master's degree and 3,000 hours of clinical experience. Licensees are bound to a code of ethics when working with clients to improve mental, behavioral, and emotional health. Make sure your counselor or family therapist is licensed in the state of Louisiana. Look for your counselor's credentials at lpcboard.org.
Hey, Baton Rouge, we want your stuff. DependableStorage.com.
Where do you go when you want to buy a Rolex?
Causeway Coin Company. CausewayCoinCo.com.
Progressive's Home and Auto Bundle Extrava Festa Save-a-thon, the annual year-long event for saving big on home and auto insurance. These savings are available up until and straight through Labor Day, Halloween, Grover Cleveland's birthday, Taco Tuesday, the anniversary of the moon landing, White Chocolate Day. The sale literally never ends. You can come on Jupiter's Ascension, National Pisces Day, but not Leap Day. Just kidding. We're doing Leap Day because every day is perfect for saving money with a home and auto bundle only at Progressive. But for real, we're not doing White Chocolate Day because white chocolate is gross. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
This is Ernie Johnson Jr. Sports is about overcoming obstacles, and college coaches work hard to help young men overcome Duchenne muscular dystrophy. It's called Coach to Cure MD, and you can help. Text the word CURE to 501-501 to donate $25 on your next mobile phone bill, or go online to coachtocuremd.org. Text the word CURE to 501-501. Help coaches cure MD.
Brought to you by the American Football Coaches Association and Warner Ladder.
Navien tankless water heaters, the proven leader in condensing technology. Request a Navien because you deserve the best in endless hot water delivery. Learn about Navien's condensing tankless water heaters and find a Navien contractor at tanklessmadesimple.com.
All things legal. Back to Ida Recovery Connection on WWL, AMFM.com, and the Odyssey app. You can get expert advice now from attorney Doug Sunseri on the Oak Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back on the Ida Recovery Connection. Not all things legal like it started out, because it's nighttime, and as Ian, my boss, says, anything goes at night. So, Kevin, we had Marshall. It was a very good call. We were talking about, I guess, advocating for your position until you hit that brick wall. And when you hit the brick wall, I mean, you left with getting counsel. But, what you try to do with, other Ken Savage and other adjusters is to, first of all, you do a reinspection after the initial payment is made, or use the information from the initial inspection by the insurance company to determine, to prepare a supplement, basically. Is that correct?
That's correct. I use the insurance company's estimate as a baseline, and use it to go item by item what they have to basically double check their work, and then pick up on any of the things that they missed, or any things that were left out, or any of the things it would take to get the repair completed properly. Now, a lot of shortcuts happen, and
that's what I was going to ask you. What are some of the shortcuts you're seeing when you do your reinspection and your reports in response to the insurance companies?
Well, a lot of times when you have roof damage and you have roof leaks, The moisture problems in the drywall don't manifest themselves visually. A lot of times you'll have to take. I have a perfect example. That is one of my rental properties. That's what's happened. The roof peeled. It leaked real bad. There was water ran down the walls. Well, it's a double, and so the common wall water just didn't run down the exterior or the visual side of the wall. It ran down in between the walls. So not only did the visual side of drywall get wet, but the part you can't see got wet too. And so they're never going to give you that unless you, like you were saying before, advocate for yourself. I run tests on it. I run moisture tests on the drywall to see or to prove that it's still wet, and that's part of the service when I come out to do a reinspection. If we have that type of an issue, I run moisture tests on the walls to see where additional damage could be, because that's not going to be a visual unless water gets between drywall and paint. It's a latex paint, and you get a water blister in the paint. Then it's pretty obvious. But still, I mean, it's just one of those little things that gets overlooked all the time.
Now,
that's because most people don't know about it.
Right. And I guess the procedure is what your estimate does is puts the insurance company in a position where they have to make an unconditional tender of additional money if they believe they owe more money. In the sense that the law says if the insurance company becomes aware through a proof of loss or through an estimate that they owe additional money or owe money, they have to make that payment within 30 or 60 days, or the law says that you could be that the insurance company could be liable for penalties and attorney's fees. Now, you use the same computer program as the insurance companies, and so it's easier for them to compare apples to apples, oranges and oranges, and to evaluate, your opinion as to what they missed. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. I use Xactimate just like most of them do, and most insurance companies, that's the only format they'll accept an estimate in. So if you have a contractor that just gives you a bulk estimate, they're probably not going to accept that. They want a room by room, itemized, detailed estimate of additional damages or, things like that things that may have been missed. What room is it in? Is it ceiling? Is it light fixtures? Whatever. They want to know in detail what it is, and that's what the software helps us to develop, is a new estimate or a supplemental estimate listing all those items in detailed form. That's what they'll accept because it makes it easier for them to compare apples to apples. That's what they're used to seeing. That's what they want to work with.
And we got about a minute before we go to our last break. But basically the procedure is, if let's say the insurance company pays $20,000, saying that's the damage, you might prepare an estimate that says, no, it's $80,000 to do the full scope of, and then they have to decide what part of that additional supplement they owe. Because if they don't pay anything and then they have to go to court, they're probably
not going to look good.
It's not going to look good. So they don't do it out of benevolence, saying, oh, okay, we're sorry. They're doing it because they want to comply with the law and protect themselves so that if they're in a situation in litigation, they can say, well, I've got this supplement from the contractor, the policyholder, and we do acknowledge that there were some things we missed and we need to pay that. Because if you get them in court and you say, did you know you were supposed to pay additional money based on the supplement of policyholders' building consultant? And they say, yes. Did you make payment within 30 or 60 days? No. Well, boom. You're not only are you entitled to that plus the additional damages, you could be entitled to attorney's fees and penalties. So they have to, a lot of times they will pay out of self-preservation. So typically what happens is, in a scenario that we gave, is there's $20,000 that they paid. Your estimate, Kevin's, might be $80,000. They might pay another $20,000 for self-preservation purposes as to undisputed damages. And then when you feel like or believe that they're not going to pay out anything more, then you file suit and you try to get the rest in litigation. And that puts it in a different realm because they're incurring a lot of costs in defending the case. And a lot of times they will allocate money to put the dispute away because it's costing them additional money. So, that's basically the procedure, how that goes. And so let's go to our final break. This is Doug Sunseri, Kevin Manali on the Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
Come on down to the Silver Slipper.
Hi, this is John from the Silver Slipper, inviting you to join us at our award-winning Jubilee Buffet any Monday through Thursday for our all-new Shrimp Feast, where we feature several fabulous shrimp entrees on our buffet line, in addition to our regular lineup. Then on Friday nights and all day Saturday and Sunday, our very popular crab.
Okay, you're going to have 7 minutes.
This has been a favorite here at the Slipper for years. Celebrating 15 years as your friend and neighbor Silver Slipper Casino, we are proud to be your host on the coast.
Have a good time at the Silver Slipper.
Since 1935, the All-State Sugar Bowl has been a proud New Orleans New Year's Day tradition. Through its annual support of college football and amateur sports, the Sugar Bowl attracts hundreds of thousands of visitors to the state, providing countless opportunities for young people. Resources from these events enable the Sugar Bowl to support education and community programs, impacting thousands of New Orleans area teachers and citizens. The All-State Sugar Bowl, proud to host the best of the Big 12 and the SEC in the Superdome on New Year's Day 2022.
Hey, it's Tommy Tucker, and enough is enough. I have called Nash Heating and Air and arranged to get a whole house generator. You might want to consider it. Nash Heating and Air has been around for 50 years. They got a full line of generators that'll keep your whole home or business powered when the electricity goes out. If I were you, I'd call them right now, 504-835-4440, 835-4440 for Nash and a Flash home generator installation. Of course, you can always go to Nash.
Okay, I got a call from Joe, who is calling from the CBD, and he is calling from the insurance side of the whole deal.
Going through, and we know how to help. Don't let your insurance company pay you less than you need to rebuild. Call Mike Brandner today. In New Orleans, call 504-345-1111, or in the Hammond area, call 985-345-1111. Mike Brandner is ready to help you right now.
Call 345-1111.
Paid spokesperson, offices in Metairie and Hammond. Results may vary.
The New Orleans you love is coming back. Our kitchens are bustling. Charbroiled oysters, poor boys, and gumbo coming right up. Our street corners are musical again. Jazz, soul, and funk fill the air. Our shops are open. Our museums are ready to walk you through history, filling you with
we're coming live after Best Chevrolet.
But you're never really gone, not for long. What have you missed the most? Visit NewOrleans.com to plan your trip. We can't wait to see you.
As life gets back to normal here, Diamonds Direct is doing our part with a special offer that's guaranteed to make celebrating those important moments easier and more affordable than ever. You can make any purchase at Diamonds Direct now and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. And everything's included. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands. Plus, every sale at Diamonds Direct will benefit Cajun Navy Ground Force and Second Harvest. Buy now, spread your payments over 5 years, and give back at Diamonds Direct on Severn Avenue across from Lakeside Mall.
Hi, folks. Joel Myers from my friends at Best Chevrolet. At Best Chevrolet, they know a Chevy buyer is generally looking for 3 things. Number 1, they want a great price. 2, they want a top-notch service department. And 3, Chevy buyers want an enjoyable, no-hassle buying experience. I can tell you, you're going to get all 3 at Best Chevrolet. On Veterans Boulevard, where Metairie meets Kenner, or at bestchevrolet.com. Best Chevrolet, a proud member of the Gail Benson Automotive family of dealerships.
Back to the Ida Recovery Connection on the station you turn to when it counts. WWL, the Big 870 AM, 105.3 FM, WWL.com, and the Odyssey app. Contact attorney Doug Sunseri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers talk and text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Got a last segment, the Ida Recovery Connection. We'll be back on tomorrow night at 8 o'clock till 10. And we'll be on Tuesdays and Wednesdays till probably at least through mid-October. So let's go to the phone line. Who do we got? We got Joe. Is that correct, Doug?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. We got Joe from the CBD. Hey, Joe. You're on the Ida Recovery Connection. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you for taking my call. Look, I think your show is an excellent resource for so many people. I'll admit I come from the claim side of the insurance business, and like I said, your advice is excellent. And I think that one thing I just wanted to mention is that there's a lot of people working that very hard on the claim side pulling all-nighters for,
Yeah, no
for
question.
example, I worked from 7 o'clock in the morning to 2 a.m. for 3 straight weeks, just processing these things. And I think that is, there's a huge effort on the insurance side to get people where they need to be.
Yeah,
that's all I wanted to call.
No,
and I think you're.
I agree, and I think y'all, it's very commendable, and again, and that's why I try to be balanced about this. A lot of the discussion we have are the things that go wrong. There's no discussion about what goes right, because if everything goes right, they're not calling in saying that. And so there is, for so many claims that, we do hear, hey, they gave us a good adjustment. And a lot of claims adjusters who come out, and we said before, give the information back to the home office, and they're the ones who make the decisions. Y'all pretty much deliver the information, but a lot of times you may or may not be the final arbiter of that information also. And so
that's right.
And also too, would I tell all the, the policyholders is at all times, it's tough on everybody. Be polite, be respectful, and have a good discussion, about advocate in a way, but advocate in a way that's very thoughtful and and respectful. And I think you were able to exchange ideas a lot that way. And I think some of the times, just like lawyers and other professionals, they have different degrees of experience. And so, look, I've been doing this 33 years, and I still read policies, and my head's about to explode, trying to figure out what they say.
So, if I can say one more thing, with that said, 99% of the communications I've had, which is a high volume, has been absolutely understandable from the on the side of the insureds when I'm talking with them, as far as the volume, and that's just indicative of the area. I don't know, but we're all working hard, and thank you for your advices to everybody.
Okay, well, thanks for the call. And Kevin, we got about a minute. Let's see, we got about a minute or two. What as far as what advice do you have for people at this stage who are getting through their first adjustment and trying to get the right information to the insurance company in order to get the full benefit of their policy?
Perseverance. Just keep pushing. Push, push, push. Just like you had said before, squeaky wheel. Be that squeaky wheel where the bearings are worn out and really screaming. A lot of times that's going to get you where you need to be. Now, I would also like to say this for people, especially the ones in the plus that are flooded.
Yeah.
Man, if you want to try to do a flood claim on your own, you're really going to hurt yourself.
2 minutes.
That's just my opinion. I would say get help with it, because flood is a whole different animal to deal with. It's way different than wind in regulations and legalities and things like that. You've done a bunch of them.
Yeah, we still got claims from Baton Rouge from 2016 that we still hadn't resolved.
Yeah,
but flood is a different animal, and there's different time periods. In fact, I'm going to probably have to call Commissioner Donnellan to make sure they get the extension, because you're supposed to file your damages within 60 days of a event.
Yeah, that's going to be impossible. And
I'm sure that's going to be extended. But we just wanted to verify that. So perseverance, I think it's good. It's advocacy, because it's not the insurance company's job to make your claim.
Right.
I mean, they'll do it, to give an initial adjustment, but it's up to the policyholder to make its claim and for damages. So
because they're not going to walk out there and say these are all your damages, lay out and lay it all out for you.
And I think that's where the expectations get crossed. Just because if you expect the insurance company,
all the obvious stuff, and then from there on, it's up to you to get all the stuff that's that's pertinent to the repair, but is not obvious.
Okay.
So, and that's where we come in, or I come in,
right?
And other people like me come in, and that's what we do.
All right. Well, Kevin, thanks so much for joining us tonight, and we'll have you back probably next month. And Thank you very much. Kevin, what's your phone number real quick if anybody wants to call you?
Sure. My number is 504-952-5643.
Okay. All right. And so
you can call me if you need to.
All right. We'll be back tomorrow night on the Ida Recovery Connection. So we'll see you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock after the Ed Ogeron show. See you then.
Home of the Saints and LSU.
See you tomorrow.